Taking a summer class is honestly one of the most stressful yet rewarding things you can do during your time at college, or even before you enter college, which yes, that is possible, and I'll get into how you can do that in a little bit if you're not in college and you're watching this. But yeah, I just wanted to make this video to talk about potential reasons why you should or shouldn't take a summer class, and if you do, what to expect during it. So yeah, before we get into that, my name is Shivansi. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all for the support recently. It's been awesome. Let me know any videos you want to see next. Drop a like, drop a sub. And let's start out by talking about how you can get into summer classes in the first place. It's pretty straightforward. If you're in college, go to the same registration page as you'd usually register for your classes at. Make sure the term selected is summer 2021 or whatever year it is, and search and register for classes that way. If you're not in college yet, or you're in that period where you just got accepted but you're not technically enrolled yet, go to your college's website and there should be a page titled Summer School. I'll leave UNC's down below since I know where that's most of my viewers go. Yeah, on that page you should see details about an application. Just need to send your transcript and a few other things. And once you send that off, make sure you know what class you want to take. Put that in there and they should get back to you with an email about how you can register for it. I haven't really heard of many people getting rejected from that sort of thing. So it's worth a shot if you're still trying to find something to do over the summer, and especially if it's the college that you want to go to, it's going to help your application in the future. The structure of summer classes is a large part of what makes it so stressful. Usually most universities do this where you have an option to take it during session 1 or session 2 of the summer. Session 1 is usually from like the end of May to the end of June, and then session 2 is like the end of June to the end of July. Whichever one works better for you. They're the same amount of days, but within those sessions you're going to have your class, assuming it's a regular 3 credit hour class, every single day for an hour and a half. So it is pretty tiring. If it's in person, you're probably going to want to live on or near campus, as opposed to regular college schedules where you only go to that class 2 or 3 times a week. You're going every day and it's for a longer period of time, and that's just so they can fit the amount of regular class time that you get during the semester within such a small period of time. So that's how it works. How quizzes and tests and all of that are depend on the class itself. So getting into the main reasons you should take a summer class, the biggest main reason that people do it is for credits, but more specifically because you're not going to be able to get all the credits you need for either your major or just general education credits by the time you graduate. Or maybe you can get them, but it'll require having like 17, 18 credit hour semesters for the rest of your time in college, which is obviously not ideal, and I would not recommend that to anyone. So that way you can get some classes that give you the credits that you need out of the way without having to do them during the semester. Also, same thing goes for if you're applying to like a major or a club or a program or anything that requires certain classes to be taken before you apply, and you can't really fit that class into a semester, then it's a potential option to take it during the summer. That's what I did when applying to the business school, because we needed to take Econ 410, and I didn't, so the summer before I applied, I just took it. Another reason is literally if you don't have anything to do over the summer, or you have no plans, no internships, and you do want to do something, then taking a summer class might be the way to go. This was honestly also part of the reason I took Econ 410 last summer, is because I didn't have an internship. Obviously COVID was a lot worse back then, so I wasn't really going anywhere or doing anything either. So I took it as a way to fill some time in the most productive way possible. And if you do this, it'll be beneficial more than just giving you something to do. As long as you're taking one that's within one of the credits that you need, it'll save you some work later on if you were to take that class during a regular semester. So if you didn't get that internship you applied for, or you're just trying to vibe during the summer and do nothing else, maybe take one summer class during it. And if you're taking them before you're going into college, take something that's related to either a topic that you're talking about in your essays, or what your intended major is, or what your major is if you know that for sure. Just take something that you know will probably be required for that. If it ends up not being required, that's okay, like it'll still help you in your application. But yeah, like in my case, again, I did it on courses that were required to apply to the business school in the Intro to Econ class and Intro to Stat class, and also because Econ wasn't offered at my school at all, and it was something that I was kind of interested in. My mom is an economist, so that was also another reason why I took it. But more so, the first 2 reasons that I mentioned are going to be the primary reasons that the vast majority of people take summer classes. There are a few other reasons, like taking a class out of genuine interest. I know, crazy, right? But if you have questions about if your reason is valid or not, because it is a huge time commitment to take a summer class, well, let me know down below. Now getting into reasons why you may not want to take a summer class. First of all, if you have an internship that requires more than like 2 hours of work a day, do not, I repeat, do not take a summer class. As well as you think you can multitask or balance like 10 different things at once, I promise you if you take one, even if it's just a gen ed while doing this, you're going to have like 0 free time. And even if you're doing a part-time internship, maybe you can take one of the easier lower level gen eds or something like that. But if you're taking like a 400 level plus a part-time internship, you're gonna be packed. And there's nothing stopping you from doing that, but I'm telling you right now, I would not have survived last summer at all if I had even a part-time internship with Econ 410. So just avoid doing that. If you're able to take summer session 1 and then like do your internship in the second half of summer, that works out great. Also, do not take 3 summer classes at once. That's the max you're allowed to do, and I'm not sure if people actually do it or not, but from my experience, 2 is more than enough. It's gonna fill most of your time. 3 would be definitely overkill unless you just absolutely need to do it in order to graduate. Also, on the financial side, summer classes are expensive. It costs about $500 to $600 to take one 3-credit one, and so if you're in a tight situation, there usually is financial aid when it comes to housing and the classes themselves for summer. But if you can't get that, then just make sure you consider if it's worth the expense or not. And again, there are plenty more reasons, but the other main one, I think you shouldn't take your summer classes if you genuinely need a break. Summer is meant to be a time where you can relax and focus on different things. And if you're like me and you continuously feel like you have to stay productive and have to be doing something school related, then summer classes can almost feel like a drug, and it is not really healthy, and you do sacrifice part of your mental health for it. So if you've been having a hard time in classes recently and you don't absolutely need the class, honestly, just take a little bit of time off and spend summer how it's meant to be spent. A lot easier said than done, but that is also something else to consider. So now that you know if you want to take a summer class or not, let me talk about my experiences so you know what to expect inside of it. The first one that I took, or actually first 2 that I took, were in the summer before my senior year of high school, so summer 2018. And it was Econ 101 as well as STOR 155, which is Intro to Stat at UNC. I took these because I knew I was pretty much doing nothing that whole summer. And I also knew that I wanted to go to UNC, so if I did well in both of these classes, my application would probably look better. So it was a risk-reward sort of thing, but we decided to go for it. And when it started, I didn't think it was that bad. It was like, okay, 2 classes, a little bit of homework each day. But then once the second week started, it just hit me like a truck. Like, it was so chaotic. Like, I had to get up at 8:45 every morning, drive 30 minutes to a campus that I barely even knew, get to my first class, sit in there for an hour and a half, have like a 15-minute break where I couldn't even eat anything, then get to my second class, sit there for an hour and a half, and then by the time that was over, it was like 1:30, and I either went to the library, just drove straight back home, and then just immediately got started on my homework because it was about 2 to 3 hours of work for each class every single day. So I didn't finish work until about like 7, 8, and some days it was longer than that because econ was just a nightmare sometimes with the packets that my teacher gave out. And also, that's another thing with summer classes, you're likely gonna have a TA as one of your teachers if you're taking one of like the bigger classes, which can have its pros and cons. But yeah, it was such a grind. As still a high schooler back then, I was not prepared for that. I was like, so this is what college is like? Oh no. But it took me a while to realize that yes, this is a summer class, so it is more sped up than a regular college class, and it is also a college level, so obviously it's harder than what I'm used to. So yeah, like I said, I wasn't really doing anything else that summer, so I just put my head down, grinded, used my mom for help for econ because, like I said, she used to be an economist. And to my surprise, I actually ended up with an A- in stat and an A in econ because I thought that final was rough. But at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure it helped me get into UNC. And I started out UNC with like a 3.85 GPA because I already got those grades at UNC technically. And then my second experience was, like I said, last summer, all virtual, Econ 410 every morning, 9:45 to 11:15. And again, it started out alright, but then it got super rough. There's like 1 homework assignment and 1 video notes assignment per day, and then a few writing assignments sprinkled in there. And when I tell you I spent like 6 hours every single day just on this class, this was the only summer class that I was taking, but it pretty much took up every hour of my day, like I kid you not. After I got ready and ate and all of that, it was like 12 or 1, and then I just worked on homework for the rest of the day. So that's what I'm telling you, like if you decide to take one, try to make sure it's like the only thing you're doing because they're a huge time commitment. Again, because it was COVID, I wasn't really doing anything else, so I was able to put my focus into it. And it also helped that I had an amazing teacher in MSA. If you go to UNC, you know who she is. Yeah, she put up a ton of resources. Office hours were extremely helpful, and she structured the class so that there was less emphasis on exams, which was awesome. These are just like my mountain of notes. I used the entire notebook for this class. All the assignments had to be handwritten too, and you had to like scan them through the phone and upload them. It was a whole process, but I ended up doing pretty well again to my surprise. And my friend Samir managed to do this class with another like 300 level class on the side. I don't know how he did it. Props to you though, because I know you're watching. And yeah, those are my experiences. Take from that what you will. Pretty much just expect homework every single day. If you fall behind, it's not going to be pretty. Take advantage of office hours. Again, as always, there's a lot more that goes into it, so let me know if you have any more questions. And of course, everything I just said is my experience, and your experience is going to be heavily dependent on the class and the professor that you have. Anyways, that is going to do it for me. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you later. Peace out. I don't know what I just did. Whatever.